Hello, everyone. Welcome to the pre-show of the Codex podcast. As usual, I am your host, Sonny Kruger. I'm joined by my co-host today, Dan Kelly, who you can
What's
find at
going
Dan
on?
Kelly Art. Things are going good. Like last week, we had me, Uncle Gary, and Mike had the uncensored episode. Now we're back to the usual routine. So today we'll have our topic of the week. Since Thanksgiving is coming up next week, I will say that we are not having an episode next week because it will literally be the day before, and then everyone's got their stuff going on. And we'll give you time to relax. But in case if you want to watch more Codex, you can always watch, old episodes. And we've always got videos coming out, a bunch of stuff from us. But today...
Yeah, I got the convention video I made for Baltimore that still has to come out. I just shot one at the Schaff show that me and Mike and Gary and Chris and Sal all went to.
So there you go. Yeah. So there's still stuff coming your way from Codex next week. Yeah. No problem. And then since it is Thanksgiving, when we get to the topic of the week, which comic book family would you most want to have Thanksgiving dinner with? But then before that, we got the usual routine. We got comic book news, we got Variant Insanity, we got Right or Wrong, we got the random panel of the week, and we have someone joining the F list. And I'll just say their real name is even worse than the character name. So the character is Mr. Nebula, but the actual name is even worse. Yeah, so I'm excited, Dan. It'll be good. Good to have the episode. And so plans. You got any plans for Thanksgiving, Dan?
I think we're just going over my father-in-law's house. Him and his wife are selling it, and they're moving to the beach house they had in Rehoboth Beach, like permanently. What's up, Booge? So he's Billy is like the last Thanksgiving in Maryland, so we got to go to that, and then we're going to go to my mother-in-law's, I think, after that.
Okay, well, hope you have a good Thanksgiving. Hopefully the food is good, and it's good times. Yeah, me too. Family for me.
Yeah,
my side on
going over
Thursday,
somewhere. Or are they coming to you?
I'm going to my aunt and uncle's.
Okay,
so going to family, my side of the family on Thursday, and then the next day we plan to go to my in-laws side. So that'd be nice. We should see how it all goes, and then eat some good food. Hopefully not come back with too big of a belly, but
we'll see. Some of us are already there.
Hey, it happens. And especially when we got that good food. So and then
just hope the turkey's not dry.
Yeah. Usually we get some good stuff. A lot of times by my aunt and uncles, they have a lot of good food, like a good turkey, and then all the good sides, and mix everything up. I'm somebody, when I eat, I mix a bunch of my food up.
I mean, I'll mix some of it up. It's, turkey, mashed potatoes, stuffing, gravy, that stuff. All right, I can mix up. But some of the other stuff, I just, I can't. And when they have that weird shit like Waldorf salad or, ambrosia salad or some of that, like I can't even touch that. That stuff's just gross.
Well, hey, like I said, and then if you don't want that, there's all the other stuff. Plenty of food usually.
Yeah, that's like Depression era food when they were looking at it like, all right, what crap do we have in the cupboard that we can like throw together to make something? And it's like, oh, how about some mayonnaise and some grapes? And like, why did you think this was a good idea?
Yeah. But then, let's see what else. Okay, you got me too. Yeah, just send for Bugs Bunny, or a foghorn leghorn to roast for Thanksgiving. No, I don't do many of the cooking. I just sit back, relax, and have a good time. But Codex, we got something that we're selling on the website. And here it is. We got a new hoodie. There you go. You see the front of it. It's a nice black hoodie. Got the Codex logo there, and then there is the back, and the back says, "Your story isn't over. This is just your origin. #suicide awareness. And all profits from this design go straight to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, AFSP. Remember, you are worth it. Your life matters. Please talk to somebody if you're not doing so well. There's the crisis lifeline, which is 988. Please reach out. You matter." like I said, you can get that on the Codex website. So www.codexstation.com.
And at some point, there's gonna be more stuff, more shirts and stuff coming out for I think there's gonna be like one design for each team member.
Nice. Maybe mine will be John. Maybe I think that'd be fitting for me.
And I think fitting for you would just be
No toys.
would just be your shadow looming over like a field full of massacred toys, or like maybe you standing in front of a Toys R Us that's on fire.
I was gonna say when you said me standing over toys, it did make me think of this this card I had, and I'm sure it was in the comic books. The puppet master from Fantastic Four,
Yeah.
and he's like standing above them.
Oh yeah, with the
yeah.
yeah, that's a pretty famous cover.
Yeah, so there's that one. Yeah, my introduction to that was through one of the cards, the old Marvel cards.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that introduced me to quite a few characters. I was getting some of the cards. Some were Thanos. That was how I first knew him, was from the cards, and then some of the comic books too. Yeah, but some of the cards introduced me, and then look at the back, and they had like the little points of like how tough they were. Oh, their fighting skills, this, their energy projection is that.
You could definitely tell their most popular characters from that first Impel line when they had it's like 3 cards for Wolverine. There was the yellow suit, the brown suit, the patch. There was red and blue Spider-Man, black suit Spider-Man, cosmic Spider-Man, which was just red suit Spider-Man flying. There was Captain America, and then there was Captain America on his motorcycle.
Yeah, like I said, you knew who the favorites were.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then also I've got a story that I've been working on. It's called Bodies. I've been reading and editing it, and I've been putting it online so everybody gets to check it out. It's on Wattpad, www.wattpad.com, and my username is Son of the Writer. I'm 5 chapters into it. Each chapter does have different stories, and it ends with 13. Then if you want to see what Dan Kelly's up to, you can always go to @DanKellyArt. Check out his artwork. Yeah, so you posted pretty cool one today with that crossover Deadpool and or Batman Deadpool.
Yeah, that one was a absolute bitch to draw because it was really hard to see the pencils on that red cover. I kept having to like tilt it. Like I feel like it didn't come out as good as it could have, just because it was so hard for me to be able to see the pencils. Like I said, I kept having to like kind of tilt it because of the way the light would hit it and draw it, and then even inking it.
For my cover, yeah, I was just reading. Boosh says, yeah, Sonny's could look like Leatherface. Is it bloody apron probably.
So yeah, I got that one. I'm getting the sketch cover for the one that just came out today, where it's blue. So hopefully the blue won't be as bad to work on. But the black ones too. Those are an absolute pain.
Yeah, because when I saw the red, I was going to ask. I'm like, okay, I'll see you today. I was going to ask. I'm like, I bet that's hard. Like, do you have to when you're drawing it? Do you have to go harder, like press harder when you're drawing
on a black cover?
Oh, on the red.
No, on the red, I just I was just drawing it normally, but it's just the way that the light hit. I don't have like a where you see artists with the art table and all that. I don't have one of those. I don't even really have a good space at home to draw. So it's normally, I do a little bit at home. Sometimes I'll do it at work when a lot of it at work when I'm on like on a lunch break or something, but it's just, flat on the table drawing. So the way the light hits it was really hard. And on a black cover, I, like pencil's not going to show up at all. So on that, I use a blue line pencil. And then when you go to ink it, obviously you can't use black ink or anything like that, because it's just not gonna show up. So you got to use like silver ink, but you got to use the right kind of pen. Like when I did that Ghost Rider one for Kevin for Christmas a couple years ago, I used a gel pen to get it to actually show up.
It's crazy too when I think about that. Like except when you sent the covers, I'm like, man, Christmas already is coming up again. Time is flying by.
Yeah, maybe I'll send you guys some of these sketch covers. The guy that buys them from me, I sent them like 9 or 10 that I was like, including the Batman Deadpool one. I was like, hey, here's a bunch of, I've got done now. If you're interested in any of them, and he normally buys, will buy like a bunch of them from me at a time. And he's like, oh, I think I'm going to pass on this batch. I'm got a bunch of stuff and it's towards the end of the year. And I'm like, shit. Like, the only reason I've been drawing all these sketch covers because this guy buys them from me. So now I just got, a ton of sketch covers just sitting in a stack.
You get it for worse things still. So, yeah. So, hey, if I look out, if I get it in the mail, I'll be happy to have it. Happy to add it to the collection.
So, yeah. So go check me out on Dan Kelly Art on Instagram and buy some of these damn sketch covers or get a commission.
Yeah. So there you go. At Dan Kelly Art.
Help me get some money to buy Christmas presents.
Yes. And then also, not too sure if you saw, I had an article written about me not long ago.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, so it just came. So I did a press release for a series about a series, and I sent it in, and kind of seemed like it was a while ago. So okay, focusing on other things, writing at the podcast and everything, and then technically it was this morning because it was like 5-something in the morning. But it's like, oh, we posted, we did an article on it. So Screen Magazine did an article called "A Series About a Series Goes Out with Style."
Oh, nice! Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, so it was nice to get it and have it about a series about a series, and I can read it in a couple minutes before we jump onto the actual show. So with this, Sonny Kruger's Chicago-based web series, A Series About a Series, premiered its final episode and went out in style. What started out as a story written by one man has turned into a series with many of Illinois' best and brightest upcoming stars showcasing their talents to the world. In this dramedy filmed and set in Chicago and surrounding suburbs, now the show is complete and available to watch in its entirety. I can honestly say that this story has made me a better person, and I know it will help others as well, said Kruger. In the series, writer Buck Banderas is working towards making a pilot episode for his show, The Hitman's Lover, and has met a multitude of characters from different backgrounds that have forced him to grow as a person. With issues like suicide and transphobia being tackled in the show, audiences have come to know that A Series About a Series is definitely a show that takes chances and makes big statements with every episode, earning the drama and dramedy. The quirky characters quickly brought the laughs and comedy into it, earning the show Best Comedy at the Nico Media Film Awards. With its memorable opening line to its heartfelt final scene in episode 3, the finale had a lot to live up to, and it didn't disappoint as it blew its viewers away in epic fashion. Episode 4 finale hit YouTube in September and concluded the story with Chicago-style heart and soul. And it says, let's take a look at the finale. Shows a link to the finale. And then it says, the over 70-minute long episode had the classic traits of the first 3 episodes, with some classic and unique filmmaking methods used in the filming, along with standout scenes, performances, and rock and music. So Dan Kelly, you let me use your song. Remember in episode 3. Yeah. Okay, But yeah, so they had the standout scenes, performances, and rock and music, but had a bit more of everything to bring the show to its conclusion. Sonny Kruger believes endings are huge and should satisfy viewers enough to make them not only want to talk about it, but watch it all over again. And he achieved that with the finale of A Series About a Series.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Now you've got to make the actual show that the show was about.
the Hitman's Lover. It's written. The whole thing is written, actually.
Well, there you go.
Then, hey, technically with the show, because it's obviously there's parts filming it, so there's technically a few scenes filmed. Yeah. Yeah, and thank you, Boosh. Yeah, so congrats, son. Yeah, thought you was going to say America's Most Wanted did something about you. I'm a desired man, but I don't know if I'm the most desired man in America. Who knows, though? But now, Dan, anything else before we jump on to the actual show? All right, then. I say with that, let's jump on to the actual Code X podcast. had to cut it off there because it was saying that Uncle Gear and Mighty Mike were the co-hosts. No, today my co-host is Dan Kelly. Now, Dan, I noticed usually you put like a quote from a movie. That's why mine says, so you're telling me there's a chance.
Oh, yeah.
But I noticed yours is our name.
Yeah, since I sent the Clutch thing today, I thought I would put that. But yeah, because everybody puts, Gary's like the Ric Flair comics and Sal's the slab guy and all that. And I'm like, what am I going to put? So I just started putting movie quotes. I was putting some from Animal House on there. I did some from Tape Heads. I just watched Princess Bride again the other night. So I'm probably going to be putting a lot of Princess Bride ones up there in the next few weeks.
Yeah, so today that's why I put down from Dumb and Dumber, and then I noticed you had out of all times you didn't have it. But yeah, that was pretty cool what you sent. How it was like the name generator. And you and I.
So for anyone that doesn't know, and I know Booge knows who Clutch is, or when I was in college, me and my buddy Josh used to be like, when people would see our Clutch T-shirts, like, "Oh, you like Clutch?" And we're like, "No, that's Klutsch. It's the German dance pop craze." But Clutch is just a fucking amazing band. They're actually from not far from where I live in Maryland, and it's hard rock. It's like kind of metal mixed with funk and blues, and it's just it's very unique music, and they are amazing, and they're amazing live. I've seen them I don't know how many times. So years ago, and I just saw it on my memories on Facebook the other day and decided to post it again. There's the Clutch name generator where you're see Booge knows where it you take the first name from the month you were born, and then it's got all the dates after, like the 1st through the 5th, the 6th through the 10th, whatever, and you combine them, and that's what your name is. So for me, my name came out to be the Electric Juggernaut, which is the same for Sonny because his birthday is like a day or two.
Nope, same exact.
Oh, that's right, the same day. That's right. So yeah, we're both the Electric Juggernaut. And what was it? Let's see. Mike said he was the. Excuse me. Mike said he was. Oh shit! I'm looking at the wrong chat. We have many chats.
Yeah, I thought Sal said like something Noble Karen, and then it was like Noble Kraken.
Oh yes. Sal is Noble Kraken, and Mike is Noble Tyrant. So, Clutch. Yeah, Boo said it exact. Clutch only sounds like Clutch. I mean, listen, they had one of their songs that was on The Walking Dead. That was a pretty prominent part of that. So the Clutch name generator, if for your birth month from January to December, it's either Immortal, Pure Rock, Transnational, Electric, Telekinetic, Unstoppable, Bearded, which I know Sonny was hoping to get, Unapologetic, Psychic, Noble, or One-Eyed. And then for the birthday, it is Wolfman. The 1st through the 3rd is Wolfman. 4th through the 6th is Samurai. 7th through the 9th is Kraken. 10th through 12th is Outlaw. 13th through 15th is Hefe. 16th through 17th is Ghost. 18th through 19th is Yeti. 20 to 22nd is Gearhead. 23rd to 25th is Tyrant. 26th to 27th Soapmaker. 28th to 29th Juggernaut. And 30 to 31st is Earth Rocker. And again, if you're familiar with Clutch, you'll know that those are all like names from song titles of theirs.
So that's cool. Yeah, because I assumed it was like a comic book thing, and then hey, look at that. So,
oh man, if you haven't listened to Clutch, if you haven't listened to Clutch, you need to. I'll send you some tracks, man. It's so good.
I will check them out tonight, later on. But today, right now, it's time for the comic book news, so I'll get us started with the rundown. We were hit with a surprise from Marvel and DC as we got 2 crossovers, and the crossovers are...
Oh, that's a good one, Booge. Bearded Earth Rocker.
Bearded Earth Rocker was his name. So the rundown, we'll start off with the surprise from Marvel and DC. We got some crossovers from them that were put online. Thor and Shazam.
It's a good one.
That is on Infinity Comics, the Marvel Unlimited app. Well, yeah, Infinity Comics do the Marvel Unlimited app, and then on DC's, they put the Flash and Fantastic Four. So there you go. You got 2 crossovers that put online, and then we got some more news. We'll get back to that in a little bit. Also, Jeff Johns' comic book Redcoat is going to be made into a movie. There's also a new era in Daredevil that will be starting on March 18th, and it is with the writer Stephanie Phillips, and the artist will be Lee Garbett. And well, what do you know? To get Daredevil comic books, it'll be available. You can get different covers through blind bags.
What a surprise! I mean, it fits with him since he's blind.
Yeah, so it goes with Daredevil. But also, we did have a passing. Unfortunately, there was the passing back in October of the inker, the artist Drew Hennessy, passed away at the age of 56. May he rest in peace. He worked on all kinds of comic books, Marvel and DC, cross-gen, so many. And he passed away in October at the age of 56. But we also do have some good news, and this one made me think of you, Dan, and that is that the Rocketeer is going to get a new comic book.
Yes. Yeah, they were having a. We'll go through all
the Rocketeer, the island where the Rocketeer will be looking to rescue Amelia Earhart, and that will come out on February 25th, 2026. So, Dan, let's jump off. Maybe we'll jump right into that crossover between Marvel and DC. I like seeing that. That's cool. The Orange Shazam, the Flash and Fantastic Four. The one thing is that they're starting to be just online.
I mean, it's cool that they did them, but if they're not in print, I'm not going to read them.
Yeah,
I'm not paying to subscribe to a thing online just to read one issue. So
yeah,
so they need to put them in print, which it's Marvel and DC, and they're greedy, money hungry bastards. So I'm sure at some point they'll put them in print. Probably what they'll my guess would be that they'll do some kind of collected volume or omnibus or something for new crossovers, and they'll put those in it and say like, oh, if you want to get these in print, you got to get it here, because they got the 2 Batman Daredevil one or Batman Deadpool ones, and they got the two new Superman Spider ones they said they're going to do. Yeah. So right there's 4. They throw those 2 in, that's 6. So, and that's if they don't announce anything else. And who knows, maybe when they do the Superman, Spider-Man ones, maybe they do some more online ones. But yeah, I got a feeling that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, because I want to read them now. But hey, on the Codex podcast, we can hook you guys up with some stuff. So I did hear that for Thor Shazam #1 on the Marvel Unlimited app, you can get a free copy. So what you do is, www.marvel.com/redeem, and then use the code. The code in all capitals is crossover, and then the number 25. So crossover 25, and that should get you a free copy of the Thor Shazam one. And then when it comes to DC, they're trying to give you a month free if you do it. So I might do if I can get it free, I'll just might as well download it.
But it's not even that. It's I don't really like reading comics online. I mean, I do it. I got to do it a lot for the comic character of the week episodes, because whenever we pick characters, even if it's a character I like, it doesn't necessarily mean I've got everything from them. So
stories,
like, I mean, I'll pull out like for the Grifter episode tomorrow, I pulled out a bunch of Grifter books and Wildcats and Team 7, Gen 12, all that stuff. But there was still some stuff, a couple of them, like the Point Blank miniseries, I still had to look up online. So, I got to do it, but that's, I don't want to say it's not reading for enjoyment, because I'm still, liking reading these stories, but it's not as enjoyable as, having the book and being able to read it and flip through it and see it. And, it's different when it's on the screen and you're having to like scroll up and down on the page. And
yeah, like I said, I'll read it if that's how if that's how I have to read it, I'll read it like that. But if I have a choice, online or the actual comic book, I'm picking the comic book pretty much every time. Yeah, so I really hope that they do make it in, actual comic book form. I think, like you said, is right, like in a collection. Then they'll say, "Oh, here you go."
Yeah,
Even
it'll
too
be
with
something like, "Oh, you got to get this so that you can get these things that never before in print."
yeah. Bruce says, I've never really read comics online. It hurts my eyes after a while. I would read a little if I could, but print is king.
I mean, maybe if I had a Kindle or something that was designed so I wouldn't have to like, do it on a laptop screen and scroll up and down, or I don't know. Maybe I'll just you know download all the pages and print them out on a color printer and then just read it that way.
You do what you got to do. And then for me too, one thing I like about actually reading comic books is it's not so much screen time. It seems everything is screen time. Look, we do this, we do the podcast, we, excuse me, or I'm watching the other shows like say Comic Character of the Week tomorrow, Grifter, and then too sometimes whether I'm writing, I like to reading a lot of things. So sometimes or watching TV, movies, this and that. Sometimes I just like to take out an actual book and read, give my eyes a rest from a screen. And then even too with the X-Men Age of Revelation, there's so many comic books with that. But now they're also releasing certain ones that are only on Marvel Unlimited. Like there's a cable one, it's only digital. So
See, I'm still bitter that when they canceled the Terrifics series a few years ago, like the last 2 issues they didn't print. They just went, "Oh, well, we're canceling it and you can read them online." And then when the collected volume, the trade came out, they're like, "Oh, well, we'll put them in that." And I'm like, well, I don't want to buy that. I've already got all the other issues. I just need these last 2. So
yeah,
it's been years now. I still haven't read the end of the last 2 issues of that series.
man, this thing, yes. Come on, they gotta stop being so greedy. Yeah. Let's see. Joe says, yeah, we are all longtime readers and collectors. Do you ever have periods where you look at why do I still do it? I'm there right now. I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna give it up. Dan, I'll let you take them away first.
I mean, I don't feel like that with comics. Kind of feel like that with life in general sometimes. But no, Kel, this stuff, getting to read and collect and stuff is, at times that's just kind of what keeps me going. Like, oh, I can't wait to read, this next story or see where this is going. And, especially with as terrible as the world is right now, like I just need that distraction.
Yeah, comics are great escape. And then as for me, there's just so many comic books. I don't know how to stop. I look at that one and I add this one to the list, and then I watch this show called Comic Character of the Week on Thursdays in the Codex Station, and then you guys are recommending all these books. And I'm like, that sounds great. I gotta get that. I gotta get that. And then I'm like, you know what? I want to reread a comic. And then there's someone's like, oh, okay, I finally have time to read this. There's just so much of it.
I
Yeah,
mean, there's,
it's a good thing to be in. So for me, I just always love reading it.
I mean, I got so much stuff in my collection I haven't read. Like when I collect, try and fill out series and like put together complete runs of series and stuff. I kind of, hey, no problem, man. It's
My
I
pleasure.
still love it. I'm working on trying to do a complete run of Avengers right now, which is crazy because that's going to be very expensive when I get to the big money books. But I still, enjoy the collecting, still enjoy the hunt, going to comic shows. I mean, you can buy stuff online, but it's, it kind of takes the fun out of it. I mean, not to say I don't, because I do. Sometimes you get good deals. Sometimes, the only place you can find some stuff, but yeah, it's, there's so much I haven't read because got to keep up with. I mean, I'm over a month behind on my new release stuff on the weekly polls that I haven't read because it's finding the time to read that, doing all the reading for Comic Character of the Week because I don't want to talk about any issue or any story or anything on there unless I've actually read it. So
That's great.
yeah,
Great here, Boosh. Still enjoying it.
yeah. So like when it comes to the back issues, a lot of them will be like, all right, well, I'm going to wait till I have this series complete and sit down and be able to read it. And then it's like I don't have time to sit down and read it. So at this point, it's I know people talk about downsizing their collections as they get older. I'm like, oh hell no. As I get
Ooh.
older, like if I ever get to the point where I'm actually, have the money to retire, that's when I'm going to be able to sit down, and read all of this.
Yeah. For one later. Oh, still hesitating.
That's awesome.
Nice. Yeah, to have the full Fantastic Four run ladder and have a number 1 at 2.0.
I am less than
It's
100.
fantastic.
Yeah. I'm less than 100 issues away from completing my Avengers Volume 1, which, I'm including the series and the annuals in that. So, I think that's pretty good. But again, issue 1 and issue 4, those are going to be the big money books. So unless I just fall into a lot of money or find a mind-bendingly amazing deal, those are going to be the last ones.
Why can't we just win the lottery? Just win $1 billion. The other day in the news, they messed up. It was still a lot. It was 980 million, and they messed up, and it said a 980 and had the B next to it.
Oh, I mean,
either way, I'll take either one.
80 million, and all the people that bitch, oh, after taxes, you only get half of it. You only get this. Like, oh no, I'd only get 400 something million. However, would I be able to survive on that? Be like you kidding me? I'd love to be able to just walk into Baltimore Comic-Con one year and go, I could buy anything I want here. Like, I'd like to be able to walk up to one guy just to do it and be like, how much for your entire wall? What kind of deal can you make me? And just like
take the whole thing,
put the briefcase down and open it up, turn the briefcase around.
Let's see. Joe says, or that Codex Casino heist Ian moves forward, LOL.
I mean, we got a couple casinos in Maryland.
I got some in Illinois too.
Yeah, we could do a heist. I mean, no,
we could do now.
Crime is bad.
Yeah. But you want something that is good, Dan? Is that you had sent the article, and it was about Redcoat. Jeff Johns' Redcoat comic book is being made into a movie. So that is the comic book that came out. Was it last year, I believe? And now it's already in the works of being a movie. Let's see. Yeah, you buy the.
Hopefully, he's got an attractive wife. I hope the Redcoat. I mean, how often do we see things that get optioned for movies and nothing ever comes of them? Like, hopefully this will, because Jeff Johns, has Hollywood connections because he was in Hollywood before he got into comics, and
he'll be writing the movie too.
Yeah. So, I mean, hopefully it happens. Of all, I know all of us on the station each have our own personal favorite Ghost Machine books. Mine actually happens to be Redcoat, so I'm pretty psyched about it. So I hope that it happens, but I also know, these things get announced all the time, and they spend years in development before they get made, and some of them just never get made. Or in the case
how long ago Spider-Man, or look at Spawn and Blade, how long those movies are taking. And they're big
Empire,
names.
Something's Killing the Children.
Yeah.
I mean, Bone. That'd be cool.
Coming on 2020. 2026, yeah.
Or it'll be like the Gen 13 animated movie that gets fully made complete and then just never gets released. Which is a shame because it was really good.
Yes, yeah. So yeah, it was Jeff Johns and Brian Hitch. They wrote it, so we shall see. Oh, it says Charles Roven and Alex Gartner are producing for Atlas Entertainment. So we'll see.
Yeah? I hope it happens.
Yeah, and then, when it comes to Daredevil, let me move on to Daredevil. Yeah, that does stink that it's gonna be the blind bags, and like you said, Daredevil blind bags. But yes, that comes out.
I
March
like
18th.
I'll probably pick one up. I'll probably get like the A cover and a blind bag, maybe 2 or something. I don't know. I'm not going out and buying, 10 of them or something. Again, unless I just fall into some money, I'm not buying 10 of them because I just don't have the money to do that.
It's a lot of money, yeah.
Yeah, I know that. Again, they recently announced that it's moving forward, but it was supposed to move forward when it was at Netflix, and nothing ever happened. So, we'll see. I know I've talked to Barry Kitson personally about the comic him and Mark Waid have done, Empire, which is absolutely fantastic. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend it. And it's been optioned a few times, and they're like, "Yeah, we'll take the check," but they never seem to do anything with it.
Yeah. Takes the blind bag and gets some radar sense.
We'll just have to dip it in radioactive waste first.
And about that Daredevil, the writer Stephanie Phillips said, "I'm taking on one of my favorite characters with one of my favorite artists, and together we're exploring Daredevil's neurosensibilities." Yeah, Phillips explained. Lee Garbett brings so much style and emotion to every page, and I couldn't ask for a better partner to bring this version of Daredevil to life. So I said March 18th will be that. And then they get
I
on
mean,
to...
I hope it's good.
Last few Daredevils have been good lately, or I hear a lot of praise.
I mean, Daredevil is one of my favorite characters. So, I hope that it's good. The Zdarsky run was amazing. That went for a couple years, and it was spectacular. And the last run was, it was okay. It wasn't terrible, but it did not live up to what Zdarsky did. So I hope this one is good. I'll buy it, but as evidenced by the Flash that I read for decades, and then the book just got so bad I couldn't keep wasting money on it. No matter how much I like the character, how long my run goes back, if it's bad, like, I'm not just going to keep buying it to keep buying it.
Yeah, like I said, comics, everything in life just costs more and more money. We just don't we don't have that kind of money to just be throwing around. Codex
It's
is
not $1 a book anymore. Yeah.
We're getting more popular, but we don't make we're not making money at this time. But one day we'll get those numbers up.
Yeah. Even though I'm not a big Bendis fan, Bendis was great. Brubaker was great. Kevin Smith was really good on it. Frank Miller, obviously. Zdarsky, Mark Waid. The run that he had on it, which was more lighthearted, but still that was fantastic. Like, he's had so many good runs, for a long time, that it's but they haven't really dealt with him being a lawyer for a long time. So I'd like to see him kind of get back to that. It's really dealt with the him as a superhero, and the religious aspect of the character. So I'd like to see them get back to Matt being a lawyer too.
And Bruce says Daredevil has been top-notch writing for the last 20 to 25 years.
Oh yeah.
And then I'll get back to about Drew Hennessy. He passed away, said, on October 28th, and he was 56 years old. And he was an inker, and he worked on X-Men, Sideshow, Green Lantern, Hulk, Sinestro, Detective Comics, Ultimate Spider-Man, Superman, X-Factor, Amazing Spider-Man, The Demon, Avengers Academy, Etching Comics, Heroes for Hire, Venom, Wolverine Origins, so many comic books. And fellow comic book artist Mike Perkins said, "I collaborated with him on Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, Spellbinders, Union Jack, and Avengers. He was my colleague and my friend. I worked alongside him at CrossGen from 2001 until the doors finally closed. He hated change, and then shared a studio with him, Butch Geis and Lauren Martin, for 3 years after that. We kept constantly in touch. I reached out to a few of his friends and colleagues for a paragraph or two of remembrance, and we all experienced the same Drew. A driven worker who loved his job and lived for his dream. A smart guy with an acerbic wit who would stand by you. A private man who loved his gossip."
Yeah. It's easy to look past inkers and not really realize how much they add to the art, especially with today's artists, where they do such detailed pencils to begin with. It doesn't leave a lot of room for an inker. It's not like back in the day when like everybody at Marvel wanted Bob McLeod to do their stuff because he was like the preeminent inker, he's one of the top guys, like, where these guys the artists would really do almost just, basically just like a step above layouts, and then the inker would be the one to like really bring it to life. But so it's easy to look past the inkers sometimes. But yeah, I mean, that guy was, Hennessy was great. He worked on a lot of great stuff, and especially when you see art and you see like the penciled page and the inked page, and
then you tell the difference.
That's the only way to truly appreciate it. Like, as great as Jim Lee is, if you look at a Jim Lee page where it's penciled, you're like, oh, it's really nice. You look at it after Scott Williams has inked it, you're like, oh my God, that's amazing. You look at, someone like John Byrne, and you look at different inkers that have worked on him over the years on different books. And yeah, you can look at all of them and say, oh yeah, I recognize it as John Byrne. But when you have someone like Terry Austin inking him or Carl Kessel inking him, it looks a lot better than, well, I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but it looks a lot better than when some other inkers do them.
Like I said, it's one thing where it takes a whole team to make art sometimes. Somebody, yes, have your own stuff, but like we said, when it comes to artists and inkers, everybody, it's a whole team to make some art sometimes. Yeah. So may Andrew Hennessy rest in peace. And then before we jump on to the Variant Insanity, we'll do a little more chatting about that Rocketeer. The writer / letterer for the comic book, Rocketeer, The Island, will be John Layman, and the art and colors will be Jacob Edgar and KJ Diaz.
Yeah, I've seen the preview page. I'll be honest, I'm not psyched about the art from the preview pages.
It seems a little more like
cartoony,
a little childish, cartoony. Yeah, cartoony.
Yeah. But the story sounds cool. It's set in the time period. He goes looking for Amelia Earhart. Apparently, it's based on a story idea that Dave Stevens had that he never got to do because he tragically passed away much too early. But it's cool that it's an idea he had, and it's it's something that they're finally doing. And they have been the past few years doing a lot more Rocketeer, not doing a full series, but doing they'll have one mini series, especially the last few years. We'll have like one mini series, and then when that ends, it'll lead into the next mini series, which starts a couple months later, which leads into the next one. So this one sounds like it's not tying into any of those recent ones. It's just standing on its own. So, I mean, I'm a Rocketeer fan. I'll buy it. If it comes out and it's Rocketeer, I'm buying it.
The biggest Rocketeer fan I know. I don't think I really, or maybe I might have seen him once before, like somewhere, but ever since you, then I was thinking of you with the Rocketeer.
I mean, even the movie too, even though the movie, it's based on the first, like the first Rocketeer series and the second one, the Cliff's New York Adventure. And it takes kind of bits and pieces of both of them. It's like mostly kind of the first story, and then takes a little bit of the New York Adventure stuff and puts it in like with the character Lothar. But it's not a direct adaptation for what's on the page, but for the spirit of the character, it's absolutely fantastic. And the theme to it, even when I hear, as many times I've seen it, when the movie starts and I hear the beginning of that Rocketeer theme, still get goosebumps. It's so great. Favorite Rocketeer, but it's the Dave Stevens stuff. It's the original stuff. You could get the I don't know if I have it within arm's reach, but it's down there, the original. You could get or actually, you know what? I have it. I actually do have it within arm's reach. It is the complete Dave Stevens artist edition. So these, and they have them for a lot of books and a lot of artists, are where they take the original art, no colors or anything, and they
make it bigger, Dan. Well, there's me bigger. Let's see you bigger so you can show it off.
And they print it so it looks exactly as it does when the artist turns it in, which is cool because you'll be able to see, especially I don't know how well it'll show up on there, but you can see like the probably not see it, but you
There we go.
see like the blue lines. Yeah, see, it's not really showing up there, but you can see like the blue lines on there and stuff. And I mean, look at that. That's just
Okay, there we go. Yeah,
that's just
that's
gorgeous.
great.
So
Yeah.
my favorite would so that's my favorite. My favorite would be the let me see if I can find a good this would be the original Dave Stevens stuff. And then if I had to boil it down even more, I would say the very first story that Stevens did that was in like multiple. Thank you. Yeah, my wife got that for me for Christmas last year.
Nice, good gift.
Yeah, Steve. The story started in like Star Slayer, then it was in another book, and then another book. And Stevens was such a perfectionist; it would take him years to get one issue done. And it went through like 3 different comic companies, and but yeah, that for non Dave Stevens Rocketeer, I'd say probably Cargo of Doom. I really enjoyed that one.
All right, so here you go, everybody. And also, there is, if you're curious, if you're like me and you're not too familiar with much of the Rocketeer, you can always check out Comic Character of the Week. There was an episode of the Rocketeer. And
Yes.
also, if you do know a lot, you can watch the episode and see if you agree or disagree with everybody.
And Gary, Gary's a big fan of it too. I think Mike did that episode with us too because he's a fan. But Gary's a really big fan too. So that was fun.
When that movie came out, I looked at it when it came out. It was June 1991. I was a little 1-year-old baby in England. Or that might have even been the first day I came to the U.S. because that summer I came to the U.S. for the first time on a vacation.
Well, for anyone that hasn't seen it, I highly recommend, obviously, the comics. I highly recommend the movie, too. It is fantastic. It's a great cast. Jennifer Connelly is like, you look at her in that movie and she's like one of the most beautiful women you'll ever see in that movie. Like I said, the soundtrack, it still gives me will give me goosebumps when I hear that theme play at the beginning of it. It's just as perfect as as a comic book adaptation could be.
Maybe one day, maybe they'll make another one, after 34 years old. Maybe they'll get to it.
I mean, they've been talking about it for years. They did that animated series a few years ago, but it was for kids. It was like a little girl that found the Rocketeer pack and, like a 10-year-old girl or something. I haven't watched it. It's not really, not really the target demographic, but yeah, I'd highly recommend. And the Dave Stevens stuff, you don't have to get it in the giant expensive artist edition. You could just buy trades of trades and collected volumes of all the stuff. But I would highly recommend it. And his artwork too. I mean, his artwork is just unreal. It's so good.
Well, there you go, everybody. Make sure to check out some of the work from the Rocketeer. Like I said, if you want to check out the new story, that's the Rocketeer, The Island, which comes out February 25th. There you go. We're ready almost in 2026. Time's flying by. One might say it's insane, Dan.
Oh.
It's time for Variant Insanity, so you know what to do. Guess what comic book had the most covers this week? Dan, would you like to take a guess which one did?
I mean, yeah, it's really cool. I'd say definitely read the comic where it's colored and all that too. But the artist edition stuff, it's fantastic. I wish I had the money that I could get more of them, but I got that one as a gift, and I absolutely love it. I mean, I don't even know all the books that came out this week, but off the top of my head, I'm gonna have to say Batman Deadpool. That's
And
gonna
Batman Deadpool.
be my
Anybody
guess.
else in the comments? Let us know. All right then. Booge is going with Blue Falcon. So I'm gonna go ahead and give the countdown of the 10, the 9, the 8, the 7, the 6, the 5, the 4, the 3, the 2, the 1. This week, the comic book that had the most covers was Silverhawks.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So there you go. Silverhawks. Writer Ed Brinson. Artist George Kambadias. And the cover artist was June Chung and Jay Lee. That's for that cover that we're showing. So Silverhawks issue number 10. No surprise, by Dynamite. So would anyone like to take a guess as to how many covers this one had?
I'm gonna say, well, I know Deadpool Wolverine had a bunch, or Wolverine Deadpool, whichever one it is this week.
Batman.
Deadpool Wolverine, right?
It was Batman Deadpool, right?
Or Batman Deadpool, whatever I said. I don't know.
Yeah, Wolverine's probably bound up here and there somewhere. So.
Whatever, you all know what I mean. He's on the cover of one of the goddamn books.
Yeah.
I know that had a bunch of Silverhawks. I'm gonna say 32.
32. And my Bruce said, yeah, he said Blue Falcon might have come out last week. So this information was given to me by Sal the Slab Guy. So, all right, Boosh going with 24. So Dan going with 32. Boosh going with 24. That means they'll give us the countdown of the 10, the 9, the 8, the 7, the 6, the 5, the 4, the 3, the 2, the 1. With the information given to me, Silverhawks issue number 10 had a total of 13 covers.
Wow.
I was very surprised with it, especially like you said, with the Deadpool or Batman Deadpool coming out. I would assume that it would be more. And if that information is wrong, that is on Sal the Slab Guy, because he gives me the information for Fear Insanity.
Yeah,
As Uncle Gary said, he said, "Sonny, you don't ever like to. You always deflect." And hey, if it's the information given me.
Yeah, because I feel like Batman Deadpool had more than that, right?
I was just assuming. I was pretty surprised with that number because, like you said, that what you were thinking of is that Batman Wolverine cover is very cool. I like that one with Jim Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm. Yeah. Are you doing the research on it right now, Dan? See, to contest this.
Yeah, I'm just looking up how many variant covers there were. So, excuse me. So this is the DC one this week, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Yeah, I think 20. I think Sal might be off because there's definitely more. There's definitely like 20 or so of the Batman Deadpool ones.
Yeah, that sounds about right, Dan. So,
because I was like, there's a lot of that one.
Yeah, I wasn't too surprised to hear like Silverhawks because I'm like, okay, no, it's Dynamite. But when I heard the number, I was like, okay,
Well, just because with the Deadpool Batman one, there's like the multiple covers that have Deadpool and Batman, and then there's the ones with all the other ones, like the Batman Wolverine, the Zatanna and Scarlet Witch one, and the Captain America Wonder Woman one, and like all those other characters, on them too.
Yeah. Who's phone messing up? Yeah, switching to TV to watch, but can't chat. Fret now, I'm still here. I'm glad to hear you were still here.
Watching us on the big screen.
The big screen. Big us. So that's fine. Oh, good. But yeah, so look at that. First time viewing Insanity was truly insane. So
yes.
Everybody knows how many variants Batman, Deadpool had. Feel free to put it in the comments. Whether it be, right now or whether it be 5 years from now, feel free to put it in. We don't mind getting comments. We like getting comments. And you know what? If we mess up, go ahead and call us out. I have no problem with it. I like to know when I make a mistake. that takes care of this pretty insane segment of your insanity this week.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now we go on to right or wrong. Dan, I'll pass it to you first.
Oh, you want me to go first? All right. Let me pull my phone out because I got a bunch of. I've typed them all.
If you want me to, you got.
All right, so I will start off. So definitely want to do that one. Definitely want to do that one. All right. The upcoming Amazing Spider-Man issue 1000. Gary has repeatedly said, and others have repeatedly said, they believe that when it hits 1000, that Marvel will finally bow down to the fans what they want, and they will put Peter and Mary Jane back together. I say, right or wrong, Amazing Spider-Man 1000 will make a big change for Spider-Man, but it will not be putting Peter and Mary Jane back together. It will be something else.
I'll say wrong, and I hope that I'm wrong. Oh no, yeah. Oh no, I'll say wrong. Yeah, I'll say wrong. I hope they are together. Yeah, so I'll say wrong for that.
I'm gonna say wrong, but I hope I'm gonna say right, but I hope that I'm wrong.
Okay. All right, everybody in the chat, feel free to let us know or comments whether you're watching this later or not. Let us know what you think. Okay. Número dos para Dan.
Oh, I thought it was going to be like back before. You want me to do the next one? Okay. Everybody has been guessing who Sadie Sink is going to play in the new Spider-Man movie, because they've announced that she's in it. Haven't said who she's playing. There's been a lot of theories, and I just saw something that said that she's supposed to be in Avengers: Secret Wars. Right or wrong, nobody has accurately guessed what character she is playing in Spider-Man.
Ooh, I'm trying to remember some of the guesses to see.
I've heard Firestar. I've heard Jean Grey. I've heard. I think I heard like Gwen Stacy or Spider Gwen or something.
You know what?
So I think those are the one. At one point, I heard that she was like a sidekick to the Punisher, but that got kind of debunked when they showed this other woman that's playing this Punisher sidekick character.
Okay. You know what? I'm going to say wrong. Maybe I think somewhere along the line someone's called it. Firestar actually be pretty good. I think she might be pretty good as Firestar. But okay, there we go. So I'm going to say wrong because I think someone's called it. I'm really trying to remember. There's another character. I'm like, oh, maybe she's her. I'm really trying to remember who it was, but someone's called it. I believe. How about you, Dan? You say right or wrong?
I'm going to say right, because how many times have we seen it where people are like, sure, this actor is playing this character. I got it from a source that it's that this
trusted
is who they're playing, and a trusted source, and I know they're perfect for this role. And then the movie will come out and there'll be someone completely different. Usually somebody that's just like, like not even a superhero character. That's just like a regular person. So I'm going to say,
here's your papers, Peter. Yeah.
Anyway, and then the last one I have is Pierce Brosnan recently said that he, I guess would like to, that he saw something about Dr. Fate getting a show or being in another movie, and that he would like to come back and play the character because he really enjoyed it and he thought it was a good character. And James Gunn, said there's no plans for a Dr. Fate thing again, because everything surrounding DC movies is almost all conjecture and rumors. Right or wrong, James Gunn needs to find a place for Pierce Brosnan's Dr. Fate in the current DC movie universe.
100% with all capital letters, right.
Agreed. All right, now your two.
Yeah, now I'll go with my two. Speaking of movies, here we go. My right or wrong is we will see the next Spawn movie before the next Blade movie.
Ooh.
I had to pick a tough one. Yeah.
I'm going to say wrong.
we'll get Blade first. This one I was very iffy about, and I'm like, yeah,
Well,
because they were saying Blades.
I think it's more wrong because I think that we will. I think that as a planet-wide people, that we all die and go into extinction before either movie gets made.
Hey, there's that possibility. But I'm gonna say right. I think because with Blade being they're saying like late 2028. I think it's immediately that's already at least 2029. So I'm like maybe Spawn could come out in 28 or something like that. So that's what I'll say, right? I think we may get Spawn a little before Blade. I hope you're not right, Dan, but there's that possibility.
Yeah, I'm gonna say wrong. I think we see Blade first.
Okay, so we may see Blade first. All right, and number 5 with Thanksgiving coming up. My statement is Thanksgiving is a great day to think about comic books as you pretend to listen to your boring family members.
Oh, 100% right.
I say right, and I think many of us will agree. Yeah. A lot of times there's somebody blah 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 blah, and sometimes you just have more fun, and you're thinking of that comic book you saw, you read or something, you read or you saw, yeah.
So I miss being a kid where it was acceptable that I could just go into another room and just sit down and read a comic, and I can't do that as an adult, especially with a kid of my own. Like,
yeah,
I have to engage with the family. So,
it's one good thing when we were talking about like phones, and we say we like actually reading comic books. But one good thing about reading comic books on the phone is since so many people always go on their phone, just looking something up right now.
My vision's not good enough that I can read a comic on a tiny little cell phone.
Dang. Maybe you get some new glasses, Dan. Some bifocals so you could really see it. Yeah. And then there's a bonus one. It says, if you haven't already, you should buy Sonny Kruger book, Killing Set in Motion. And that I'll answer is right.
Right. So, all right, so you want to swing back around to the first one? The first one has the Amazing Spider-Man 1000. We'll have some kind of big change for Spider-Man, but it will not be putting Spidey and Mary Jane back together.
Yes, I was saying that I said wrong. I think it will be them together. And then in the comments we had Hulk 197 said put them together. Why not? Or put them back together. Why not?
I say right because I think Marvel has spent decades now at this point with them not together and with them and just like absolutely dying on this hill of writers like Slott and what's the turd that just finished the big long run on it, who got divorced from Heidi Granger, Zeb Wells, they like defiantly keeping them apart, and Marvel editorial defiantly keeping them apart. That I think that, unless there's a major change there, that Marvel's not going to do it.
There's that chance. I'm not I said wrong, but I'm not super confident. But yeah, I hope I'm right and you're wrong, though. But
the second one I had was no one has correctly guessed who Sadie Sink is going to be playing in Spider-Man, and then presumably the MCU going forward.
Yeah, so I said wrong, and I said someone's called it. There was somebody else I was not coming to my mind. Like you said, one of those not big characters. But then even when you said Firestar, there's a possibility. And I think she'd be a good Firestar.
So I just don't think that Firestar is going to be like where Marvel starts off the X-Men.
Oh yeah, you're right, because it's X-Men. Right, I forgot.
They already have made Miss Marvel a mutant, and you've seen like Professor X and Beast and Deadpool, Wolverine kind of show up, in other stuff. And we know they're all going to be in the older, the Fox X-Men actors are going to be in the in Doomsday, but I don't know. I could see maybe Jean Grey,
maybe Rachel Summers. That'd be interesting.
I mean, that would be a bold move. I don't know. Maybe she'll play Mary Jane because technically, I mean, the MJ in the movies is not Mary Jane. It's some other dumb name that she has.
Was it Michelle something? But yeah, they always just say MJ. But I was like, oh wait, it's not technically Mary Jane.
I don't know. I'll be honest. I find her character in the movies to be annoying. But
We only want Mary Jane. I think should be the MJ. You know, there's
and
many other initials you could use.
and then the other one, James Gunn needs to find a space for Pierce Brosnan's Dr. Fate
We were all on right
in the DC movie universe. Yes, he was the best part of Black Adam by far. And I mean, it's Pierce Brosnan. Why wouldn't you want to have Pierce Brosnan in your movie universe and be able to put him in as many movies as possible?
Yeah, 1 second, Dan, as I slide away. Look at that. I take out my Dr. Fate. See?
His Dr. Fate, whose fate was sealed as soon as he was bought by
that. He's in perfect condition still, and he's years old.
Oh, I'm going to throw a bonus one out, too, since you did.
Sounds good.
Because it's timely. The new Wonder Man show will be terrible.
Yeah. I'm just going to be an optimist and say you're wrong. But
the more every time I see another trailer for it, it just looks worse and worse. And I'm like, all right, cool. You're doing some meta Wonder Man thing, but they're only doing it because he's not a super popular character. And they're like, it's the same thing with Eternals. Like, hey, we can make all of these drastic changes to them because there's not a ton of people out there that are like, that's my favorite character. But there's some of us. I mean, he's not my favorite character, but he's up there. He's one of my favorite Avengers.
He's great. I know Uncle Gary really likes him a lot. And
yes,
there's so many good stories. There are good stories with him. Like Emperor Doom was such a good story. Like
he's Gary's favorite Marvel character.
Yeah. So, I think it's going to be the more you know about comic books and the more you know about Wonder Man, the more you'll dislike the show, and the less you know, the more you may be able to enjoy it.
Probably.
One of those things where they can just make a show that everybody can enjoy. Trust me, it's like the people who don't know about comic books. I think a lot of the reason they don't like comic books is they don't know the good stories. It's not that they've read them and they're like, yeah, this is boring. It's they don't know them. So they tend to think like, oh, they're not going to like it if it's in a movie. But trust me, they'll like. There's so many great stories. They'll like, just like when it came to X-Men, they were always kind of scared like the Phoenix Saga and in space and everything. But then later on, they said, oh, look, Guardians of the Galaxy, look how popular that was. Like, yeah, X-Men could have went to space too.
Yeah, they've tried adapting that to movies twice, and both of them have been terrible.
The X-Men, the animated series, got the closest to the Dark Phoenix Saga. So
I said, to do the Dark Phoenix Saga, and it is a tangent now, to do the Dark Phoenix Saga in a movie, you can't do it in one movie. It's too much story. You have to do one movie where, like, ideally where you would have whatever the movie, and then it would end with her getting the Phoenix power. Like, that would be how the movie ends, like, or maybe you have the movie, then like the post-credit, like, is them, on the ship and her getting hit with the rays and all that. And then like a post-credit scene, she pops out of the water. She's the Phoenix. The next movie, the main movie would be her being Phoenix and being alongside the team. But then, about halfway through, you start seeing some little, kind of questionable things happen. And then, towards the end of the movie, she kind of fully goes Dark Phoenix, and, the Imperial Guard and all that come down. And then the next movie is like really like the Dark Phoenix saga. You have the stuff with like the Hellfire Club and, the stuff in space and all that. Or maybe you see the Hellfire Club stuff in one of them, and then like all the big space stuff at the other one. But it's too much story for one movie.
Yeah. One time I was interviewed, and it was the Golden Hour with Anna Gold, and she asked me about like if you could do any superhero, because she knows we got like the codex and everything. She had any comic book, anything, and I said the story would be the Phoenix Saga.
Oh, if you could adapt anyone?
Yeah, if I got like the option, so you could do, don't worry about money, don't worry about this or that, you can do it. I said out of all comic books, it'd be the Phoenix Saga. To give it
Kingdom
Come. The story it deserves. Give it the live action it deserves, because that's truly a classic.
I would pick Kingdom Come.
Nice.
Because if you're talking about budget's not an option, yeah.
Man, that would be, that would be
You
so.
would, you would have to do that movie accurately. You'd be talking about a budget in the billions.
Yeah. So many things. Who knows? Maybe one day they will make a Kingdom Come. I mean, but obviously they're not going to have all the characters. But
yeah, it'll be watered down.
We can think. We can dream. But yeah, so how we're going back. Yeah, so my statements were: we will see the next Spawn movie before the next Blade, and then I think
No,
Spawn. You said
I
Blade.
think I think Blade, because Todd McFarlane seems to be really attached to this idea of directing it himself, and he's never directed anything before, and it's been so many years of him like giving a tease, like there's going to be an announcement of this, and then like the announcement is something kind of innocuous, and
we wrote one more page.
Yeah, at least with Blade, it's got like all of Marvel behind it. They teased Blade at the end of Eternals, but he was one of the main characters in that awful Marvel Zombies animated series, but still, like, he's one of the main characters there, so he's kind of already in there. So,
so he's still, he is popular. And then even with comic books, there was the Blood Hunt story that recently came out. Or not too recent, but still. And
I think he's got a leg up on it.
I think the thing with me was it just made it like when I hear about the delays and like maybe 2028, I'm like, man, that's so far away. But we will see. What do you all think will come out first, Spawn or Blade? And then my last one was Thanksgiving is a great day to think about comic books as you pretend to listen to your boring family members. And we all said yes. We all agreed.
I mean, it's either that or talk about politics. And
yeah, fun.
I mean, we can always watch football, so I don't know. I don't know who the Lions and the Cowboys are playing this year. I have to check to see if they're going to be decent games.
Yeah, I know the Bears play the Eagles the next day, and I saw your Ravens have been doing good, Dan.
Yeah, they're back to 500, so they got to pretty much be perfect the rest of the way through.
Yeah, they won a close one over the weekend.
It is the Packers at the Lions, the Chiefs at the Cowboys, and the Bengals at the Ravens. All right, well, you can tell which one of those games I will be most interested in.
Nice. So there you go. All right. Well, I hope everyone does have a happy Thanksgiving, and hopefully no annoying politics talk. And hey, feel free to read comic books if you can, and or enjoy football. If you get to enjoy food, or even if you don't celebrate it, hopefully you still have a great day. Eat a little extra that day, just because. Now, Dan, we jump on to our random panel of the week. Are you ready for this one?
Hit me.
Boom. There she is. This old man says to Millie the model, your eyes are like silk, and your hair is like a livid fool. And then the redhead in the background, her name is Chili Storm. She says, again. So, yeah, Millie the model. And I wonder, who we can already tell who this older guy is. We could tell he's somebody who's trying to use the models and thinks he's slick. But Dan, I don't know about that compliment. Your eyes are like silk. Your hair is like a livid fool. I know it's older, but
I mean, limpid, I think just means like something that's basically like see-through or clear type. So I don't know. He's probably somebody that you wouldn't want around your open drink.
Yes, nicely put, Dan. Yeah. But I was like, what kind of compliment is that? A limpid fool. Yeah. For anybody, I know
nothing I've ever heard. Nothing I've ever heard anybody say.
So I know the holidays are coming up, but before you know it, it'll be Valentine's Day, and a lot of times people want to get dates and stuff. I suggest you do not use this guy's compliments. You do not tell a woman she has. Yeah, your eyes are like silk, and your hair is like a limpid fool. Not one to go for. Dan, are you familiar with Millie the model?
I've heard the name. I've probably seen some comics, see her here or there, like, in boxes or something, but it's nothing that I've read.
Yeah, I just found out about her a couple days ago and found this panel. And then, yeah, the lady in the redhead in the back is Chili Storm, who used to be called Chili 7. And I guess she's a frenemy of Millie, and usually she has like a smart remark telling Millie, like, oh, you're not wearing a mask today, and things like that. So there we go. There's our random panel of the week, which brings us now to that list. Today, joining the F list is Mr. Nebula. And look at him, how big he is. And he says, I brought swatches. Beige is the new pink, people. So get ready to remodel those bathrooms once again. Teak and mahogany are yesterday's woods. Say hello to your new friend, Naughty Pine. And Mauve Lantern, you've got some splaining to do. But that's not all for this guy. Here's how he used to look. Look at him. I would say he looks fabulous. And he says, why, it's fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. Well, perhaps a little more mauve in the deserts. But that's not all to him. There he is, Mr. Nebula, he's with the Scarlet Skier. There, his herald. They should maybe tell you a little bit about who he is. And here he is again. He says, how could anyone with even the smallest shred of taste bear to live on this planet for one single second? You'd think that after so many years with me, the Scarlet Skier would have picked someplace with a little more panache. Monotones everywhere. No fizz, no bubble, no pizzazz. Even the air. I see I'm going to have my celestial sensitors working overtime. And of course, here he is. And he says, I must get photos of this for my portfolio. You see, he's got a very colorful fashion sense. And there he is. And he says, yeah, it's unspeakably beautiful. All of my greatest designs, my most cherished dreams here before my wide and wondering baby blue eyes. He says, my eyes are my best feature, although it's really hard to tell when I'm wearing this helmet. That's not all. Then we also see him like this. He's just going through stuff, and he says, tacky, tacky, tacky. This simply will not do. Maybe something in a quartz crystal. So, Dan, what do you think about old Mr. Nebula?
If I'm not mistaken, he's from the Giffen DeMatteis run on Justice League.
I will say correct, man. Good job.
As soon as I saw him, I was like, that's Keith Giffen there.
Yeah, Giffen and DeMatteis. Yeah.
Sorry, 1 second. What is this? You want me to download this?
Yeah, it's a smart,
In the meantime, I'll have everybody look at more pictures.
Sorry, 1 second. I'm downloading an app on my daughter's iPad for her.
No problem. As you do that, I will show everybody these pictures once again so you can see how fabulous Mr. Nebula is. And as you can see, he's changed over time. This is more of his original look. And then this is more the updated version of him.
Yeah, that's definitely well past the Giffen DeMatteis. That's more modern. Yeah, that stuff was from then. I'll be honest, I don't really remember the character too much other than, vaguely remembering the name and the look. And then, as you're reading it, I'm like, that's definitely, just screams Keith Giffen to me. I'm going to say his name is Wilford Threaden-Berenson. And
Dan, that's bad, but it's not as bad as the real name.
And he is an alien from the planet Fashioniso. And he was the top designer on his planet. And on that planet, whoever the most fashionable is who is the leader of the planet. And so he decided he was bored with the adulation that he received there and leading those people. So he decided to go out into the universe and find new worlds to conquer through the use of fashion.
Well, then let me get you started on a little bit of that history of Mr. Nebula. Real name, Curtin Rod.
That's so stupid.
That is his real name, Curtin Rod. And like you said, yes, he was created by Keith Giffen and J.M. DeMantis. His first appearance was in Justice League America, number 36, with the cover date of March 1990. And this character, Mr. Nebula was a galactic redecorator and enemy of the Justice League America. And he is a parody of Galactus. Centuries ago, this is from DC.fandom. Centuries ago, Curtin Rod was a mere mortal who was decorating a temple built for two lords of order who deigned to walk among mortals for fun. Curtin Rod offended them, and here's that panel when he says, "Run along now, shoo, shoo." And they said, "Who are you, mortal?" "Shoo us." And he says, "Who am I?" "Why, I'm Curtin Rod, poet, bard, sensitive soul, and designer of this temple. Now run along." And well, because he offended them with that, he didn't want them to touch it or even see how he was redesigning the temple. They transported him to a realm of madness where there was no top and down and colors of all forms to bend the mind and eyes. He spent countless years to evolve and then eventually return to space and time. Now evolved, he was obviously a bit different. He became known as Mr. Nebula, possessing a great cosmic powers to decorate all the planets of the cosmos. Mr. Nebula hired a herald called the Scarlet Skier. Yeah, kind of like the Silver Surfer, right? And this Scarlet Skier often ran away from his master, but the skier he would always be drawn back to the job because he just loves it so much. And then Mr. Nebula was looking for his herald when he came to Earth and decided to decorate the world according to his particular tastes. So this is when, warned by the skier, some members of the Justice League would fight him. There'd be the Martian Manhunter, Ice, Crimson Fox, and the military. And eventually, what they did was that, eventually how they beat him was Ice and Crimson Fox disoriented Mr. Nebula by they froze his eardrum. That's how they would stop him. And however, Mr. Nebula was stunned. Martian Manhunter formed a plan to make him believe that the peoples of Earth wanted to honor him. To prove this, they traveled to Las Vegas, where Mr. Nebula was delighted with the city and left Earth to do the reform of its own. So then later on, that was his main issue. But then later on, he would get a little bit of an upgrade, or you could say maybe he got a fabulous makeover, looked more like Galactus when he would appear in issues of Ambush Bug. Yeah, he was an Ambush Bug, year none.
So he's a lame character, but he was created to be a lame character.
Yes.
Which is very different than a lame character created to be a normal character or a cool character.
Yeah, that's there are certain characters, like we said, that they were meant to be cool. It's like, oh my gosh, this character is horrible. And this one is meant to be funny. I like Mr. Nebula. I think he's fabulous. I think he's funny. But I do think he belongs in that list. I want him in that list. Dan, do you think Mr. Nebula belongs on the F list?
Oh, absolutely. But, he wasn't created to be a cool character.
Yeah.
He was created to be an F-lister.
Exactly. Yeah, he was not like those, he's not like Youngblood. He was trying to be cool. And it's like, no. Yeah. So, Mr. Nebula, I love you, and I put you on the F list. You could be the designer there. So there we go. Mr. Nebula, Curtin Rod joins the F list. And that name too, Curtin Rod. And then, now we go on to our topic of the week. Since Thanksgiving is coming up, our topic of the week this week is, which comic book family would you most want to have Thanksgiving dinner with? Oh, you go first, my co-host.
I don't know. It's not a family in the nuclear sense of the word, but I would say the Justice Society. They famously over the years have had the big Thanksgiving get-togethers with them. With all of the extended society members. They've done it with the crossovers, with the Justice League, and with so many awesome characters there and so many great stories. That's one that I would definitely want to be, and I would make sure to do my best to snag a seat right beside Power Girl, maybe right between
And across.
Power Girl and Black Canary.
You wouldn't want to be across. Because
Well, maybe because I'd be like, oh, let me reach for this. Oh, I'm sorry, I was just reaching for the gravy. Kara would be like, I know what you are reaching for, you filthy bastard.
Despicable. Horrible, Dan. But my pick would be the X-Men. I love my X-Men. However, there'd be some fun, right? Many characters I love to be around. But also, I could be around the sexual tension, You got Jean Grey, but Wolverine and Cyclops. Maybe Emma Frost is there. You get to see all this stuff going on. Also, you could wonder, is Professor X or Jean Grey, are they in my mind? Are they seeing those naughty thoughts? Not saying there would be naughty thoughts, but, I think it could be interesting. So for me, I go with the X-Men. But there we go, Dan. We got a bit of Marvel, a bit of DC. And for those watching or who will watch, let us know. Which family would you like to spend Thanksgiving with? A lot of stuff. And then you could see who do you think there'd be more likely to be a fight? I could see Wolverine causing trouble with somebody. I could see him getting into it with someone. I could see there being drama with the X-Men. Justice Society, how about you, Dan? Have you noticed any, like you said, you've read those comic books and you've seen them where they have the big Thanksgiving. Has there been any big drama?
I mean, there's not really drama too much amongst the characters. There's no like Wolverine guy that's gonna, pick a fight with Cyclops because, he didn't get to make a wish on the wishbone. But speaking of earlier mentioning Clutch, they have a song about the wishbone too. So tying it back to the beginning. But yeah, there's not really that. There's normally, there'll be some villain or someone that they'll have to fight, but not really internal tension as much.
All right. Yeah. And then since we get ready to go, I'll just say anybody, who would we not want to? Who would be, and a little bonus one for everybody, who would be like horrible to have Thanksgiving with? Savage Dragon villains, of course, but talking about like a certain character who would be bad to try to eat. If you have a cat, don't have Lobo there. Yeah.
The Punisher. I mean, I'm a huge Punisher fan, but do you really want to have Thanksgiving with the guy that's going to be like, I used to have a family. They're all dead. And you're just going to be like, eating the driest turkey in the world sitting in the back of a dive bar or something.
Yeah, you're right. As much as I love the Punisher, like I said, we both love the Punisher. I'd like to be there for him, but, I don't think it'd be the happiest of Thanksgivings. Yeah. But, yeah, so there we go. And you know who else I wouldn't want there is this guy from a random panel of the week. He does not get an invitation.
Yeah, I'll take the girls. He can sit there by himself.
He can go try to have the Thanksgiving with the Punisher. Maybe it'll make the Punisher feel better, beating him down. But the models, Millie and Chili, they can join us for Thanksgiving.
The guy looks a little like Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah, well, there you go. Maybe Epstein was inspired by this guy and said, I don't look like that. And you know what? Maybe from the skies, old Mr. Nebula could watch as we all have Thanksgiving. And if anybody gets on the nerves, he can come down and shoo them away. Except for if it's certain characters like Wolverine or like the Punisher. They wouldn't take kindly to that. But all right, everybody, that shall wrap up this episode of the Codex Podcast. Next week, we will not be having an episode. It's right around Thanksgiving, but we shall be back in 2 weeks. And tomorrow, Comic Character of the Week is taken away by Grifter Dan, who is set to be joining you on tomorrow's episode.
Oh, it's the regular crew. It's Sal and Jamie and Gary will be on.
So the original. Yeah.
In fact, when I saw Gary at the shop show on Sunday, I told him, I was like, hey, I know you don't know a ton about Grifter and that you don't like to read stuff online. So I gave him like a big stack of old Wildstorm books, Grifter and Wildcats and Team 7 and all that. And I was like, here, you could, take this so you can actually have the physical copies to read. So it'd be interesting to see which ones he liked more than others.
Nice, because I was excited when I saw you guys doing Grifter. I'm like, awesome Wildcat. So check that out, and then like we said, next week we won't be having live shows, but there will be other videos that are coming out. Dan, like I said, you're working on that Baltimore con.
Yeah, well, we're gonna do I think we're doing Comics Unleashed next Saturday as normal. Jamie said something about wanting to do like a trivia thing on next Friday, so we'll see about that.
All right, yeah. So that should be fun. Check that out, everybody. So always stuff from the Codex Station. And remember, you could always check us out at the Codex Station. As Uncle Gary always says, we're dripping with the socials and we want to give them to you. So at the Codex Station. And Dan, where could everybody go to get some merch and meet the team?
Yep, codexstation.com. You can see little bios on all of us. And, there's the merch section. There's links to all of our social media. So, go check it out. Sal is the one that runs that created it and runs it. Yeah. And you can email us through there too.
Yes. And in case you're on Facebook and you want to check out, there's always, go to the Codex Stations page, or you can join the conversation at Comic Character of the Day. That's where most of us have met. And, Dan and the guys run it. So, we have a random panel of the week. They have random panel of the day every day. They have characters every day. They have covers every day. So check it out. Join the conversation. Fun times every day.
And I also like to say this coming Saturday, the 22nd, is the Heroes for Heroes auction that will be on Bronze Age Nerds YouTube channel. It's really good stuff. It's going to be original art and autograph stuff and comics and all kinds of cool stuff. And all of the money raised is going to Mission 22, which benefits veterans and their families. I have sent stuff. I sent the Sergeant Rock drawing I did to be auctioned off on it. I know a lot of creators that I personally reached out to have donated stuff to it, like Jimmy Palmiotti and Amanda Connor, Philip Kennedy Johnson, JMD Mateus, who else? I can't remember. But a bunch of them, and there was a bunch of other artists, like, professional artists, they got to donate stuff, people that donated comics, and, go there, check it out, get some cool stuff, and know that your money is all going to a great cause.
So check it out. It's Saturday, November 22nd. And before I let you all go, remember that on the Codex Station's website, we do have a hoodie. A new hoodie that came out, nice black with the Codex logo. And on the back, it says, your story isn't over. This is just your origin. # suicide awareness. And all profits for the design go straight to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Remember, everybody, you matter. Your life matters. I know sometimes the holidays, some of us, we have a really good time. And the holidays are really tough for others. But please reach out to somebody in case, you're not doing so good. The Crisis and Suicide Prevention Lifeline is 988. And feel free even to message anybody at the Codex Station. We joke and we have fun with each other, but we know when to be serious, and we do have hearts, and we do care about you all. So we hope you're all doing good. I hope you all have a great holidays, great days, great every day. That is a 10 out of 10. Take care. We will all see you around. Have a good night.